One of the biggest issues that business owners of indoor sports complexes have is finding the right space. When you think about any type of indoor sports, you need a big building, but you would also like a building in a good location and a building that is flexible enough to handle what you want to do with it, right? So one of the most common indoor sports we see these days is pickleball, but I do see a lot of indoor batting cages, golf simulator areas are becoming, or businesses are becoming popular. And again, trying to find the right location for that type of business is a challenge. Oftentimes, those businesses want to be in a location that has good drive-by traffic. They want to be seen like a retail business, but they will not work in a retail business building. Those buildings have lower ceilings. They may have columns in the way. You do then see these businesses going into industrial business parks because, hey, they're big warehouses that can handle an indoor pickleball court scenario, but they're tucked back in the middle of an old industrial park and there's 18-wheelers across the street here and a manufacturing plant over there, and it's just not ideal for what they're trying to do with that business. So that brings us to the flex buildings and why they're really good for the indoor sports types of businesses. A flex building like I'm standing in is effectively a warehouse, but again, we use the word flex because it is flexible, both in the building itself and the locations in many cases. So when we build these buildings, they are large steel buildings with huge open spans. So imagine you want to put an indoor pickleball court or batting cages or all of the above in this type of space. It will fit in here. You have the head height. You do not have any types of columns or supports coming down getting in the way. You just know if you had an indoor pickleball business and you were looking at a building with columns, that column's going to hit right where one of the courts needs to be. So we don't have any of those issues here. We can also custom build them to fit the needs of what somebody wants. And also we put elevations and designs to these buildings that while it may look like a good old steel building on the inside, we can really pop on the outside, give it some very cool elevations, colors, materials. These buildings can even have things like stone and stucco and brick put on them if you want to do that. Also, we will have the storefront doors on them, and storefronts are just terms, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Storefronts are just the glass doors that you see typically on retail style. So we built this building with, I think, 3 storefront doors on it. So that's another case where you can have multiple access into the building. You may even be an indoor sports company who wants to split the building up and have different accesses for different aspects of the sports that you're going to have in here, or maybe even different tenants. You know, hey, we only need half this building for our batting cages, but we want to buy the whole thing, put a demising wall in the center of it, and lease the rest of it out to another tenant. So the flexibility of these buildings really works out well for the indoor type of businesses that we're going to see, indoor sporting businesses. The location matters also, going back to being relegated to an industrial park where maybe what your business is doesn't fit with everything that's around it, the manufacturers and the construction companies and things like that. Whereas this particular business park that we've done here called Peden Crossing in North Fort Worth, as you can probably see behind me, has a lot of traffic, a lot of eyeballs, huge amounts of rooftops. The demographics is massive growth in North Fort Worth with tons of houses going in this area. So a building like this would accommodate that type of business very well because not only does the building work for it, but there is a lot of drive-by traffic. You get a sign out on your building and you will see a lot of people just coming through the door. Hey, there is an indoor pickleball court, there is a golf simulator building, there is a batting cage. Maybe you can do all 3 in one building. I just came up with that. So I think that is why the flex buildings, especially in more retail type locations, are advantageous for indoor sports businesses. You can go find plenty of retail buildings that are on the busiest roads in town, but the buildings themselves won't be able to accommodate what a lot of these indoor sports businesses need. So hope this video helps. If you have an indoor sporting business, there's probably somebody out there doing pickleball, right? So appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you in the next one.